Hello everyone! So today we're going to be making donuts. Donuts were actually called oliekeeks, which actually means oily cake in Dutch, which is kind of funny because it sounds like oily cake, literally. Donuts also did not have holes in the middle of them because they didn't think they needed them, and then they realized that the center of the donut was not cooking all the way through. So that's when they started poking holes in the center of the donuts, so then they didn't have to worry about them eating raw dough from the biscuit from the donut. And so yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be making donuts. So your ingredients you're going to need is going to be 2 tubes of just regular biscuits. I use just the normal size. They're not jumbo, they're not buttermilk. You will also need your powdered sugar, a bag of powdered sugar, some vegetable oil, some cocoa powder. If you don't want to make chocolate icing, you do not have to buy cocoa powder. So if you just want to have vanilla icing. And you will also need some milk. There's not like a set amount of milk, just whatever. I just poured that out, so there was not a whole gallon of milk sitting out. And then for your equipment, you will need a frying pan, which is currently on my stove. And you will also need 2 bowls with spoons, 1 plate, 1 spatula, a donut hole poker. Very, very big necessity, I guess, when you're making a donut. This is just a old medicine bottle, child's medicine bottle. You can use literally anything. I've seen people use straws. You also need a cookie sheet and some paper towels to put on your plate to soak up the grease from the donuts. So with that being said, we can get started. First we'll make our icing so that can be refrigerated and thickened. So you would start by dumping some powdered sugar into your bowl and then slowly adding your milk into the bowl. And then you'll stir it, and you want it might take a couple tries. It's better to start very small amounts of milk because you want it to be pretty thick, like a frosting kind of. And then you'll do the same thing for the chocolate, but you'll add your 1 tablespoon of chocolate powder unless you want to add less, you're not a big chocolate person or something. And you'll plop these into the refrigerator to thicken. And then you will fill the frying pan halfway full with the vegetable oil. And turn the stove on to about 4 or 5 so it can start heating up. And while that's happening, you pop open your can of biscuits and place them onto the cookie sheet. And when you do that, you can take the donut hole poker and literally place it into the middle of the donut, wiggle it around, and you get a donut hole. So, and I find the donut holes are kind of a favorite around here, especially with my kiddos. So, especially if you put some icing on top, they're really good. So to test to see if the oil is ready yet or not, we can go ahead and place just a donut hole in there so then we're not wasting a whole donut. And what it should do is it should start bubbling up and floating to the top, just like that, which means our oil is ready. So we can go ahead and place about 4 donuts in there. You don't want to place too many because then the oil starts getting really hot and popping and making a mess. And we don't want that. So as those are going, you'll let them go for about a minute and a half. And then we'll flip them and do the other side. They should be a golden brown. While those are going, I'm going to go and get out the icing and the donuts that I pre-made. So here we got our vanilla icing, our chocolate icing. And so these are cooled off because I placed them in the refrigerator or the freezer. just to get them cooled off enough, because if they're still hot and you try to ice them, the icing will just melt away. So what we can do is we can literally take it and plop it into the icing like so, and just kind of give it a little wiggle and bring it up, and there you go, you have your donut, your first donut. And we can place it onto the cookie sheet, and then we can do a chocolate one and pop it into the chocolate. Now if your icing starts to run off, that means it's too thin. So there's a chocolate one. And we can flip the donuts that I have in the oil now, because it's been about 1.5 minutes. And I can take my little donut hole out because it is done. It will look similar to this. And then now you have some pretty awesome donuts to eat. I discussed my ingredients I used to make the donuts. Then I showed you all the necessary equipment that you should need to make the donuts. And then finally I showed you how to make the donuts. And now you can do that right from the comfort of your home. As my son says, Donnie's for everyone. That's just what he calls donuts. I don't know why, but that's what he says. Thank you guys so much for making donuts with me today. If you guys want to, you can always have fun and add some sprinkles to your donuts. It looks like this. They're super yummy. So have a good day.